Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you're all having a wonderful day or night. I hope you will enjoy today's video, so let's just get into it.
Whenever guys say that men don't get the attention that women get, they're obviously referring to the attractive women only. For the longest time, I thought that men didn't see unattractive women as women at all. But as time goes by, I'm more and more convinced that they don't see unattractive women as humans, even because they don't even consider an attractive woman into existence. So whenever they're talking about women and women getting attention, they're talking about the conventionally attractive women only because the rest don't even exist to them.
Okay, so what's the argument? Last time I've checked, you haven't made it illegal for me to have my preferences, even though it bothers you that much. You want to see invisible and non-existing? Check the average man. The one that is not on clubs every night, the one that is not on bars every night, and the ones that are not in your DMs every day. How many of them match with you on a dating app and you totally ignore them because they didn't wear an expensive watch on their profile picture? How many times you said no to a guy because he was not the one giving you the princess treatment? Can't believe I was crying over a man I had more money than. LOL.
What the fuck is that?
I'm not really sure, but it looks like a fish that can breathe out of water. But let's see now. No matter how crazy I've acted, every man has came back. Come on now, princess. No, they haven't. But well, maybe they did. Where are they now? Or better yet, what did they came back for? By the looks of it, even if they did come back, they weren't coming back for something else more than an hour.
As women have become less and less oppressed, women want to be with us less and less.
Let's talk about why we are truly living in the best of times to be a woman. Whenever I see content about people wanting to go back to the past because it was a much better time, this is the much better time. When the income growth of previously marginalized groups are now outpacing the income growth of non-previously marginalized groups, we are living in a great time. A study has shown that women are now waiting longer to get married, and there are now higher rates of women who are not getting married at all. There's a direct correlation between the income growth of women, the higher education rates of women versus men, and the drop-off in marriages. Nearly half of all young adults are single, with 34% of them being women and 63% of them being men. In short, there are much more single men than there are single women. And a lot of men want to blame women for this, but it's not our problem. We're not the ones who are largely single. It's you guys. Women are now outperforming their male peers in college graduation rates and starting salaries. In short, young men are just simply falling behind. And because of the hypergamous nature of women, meaning we want to be with someone who is better than us, but there are much less men who are better than us, and we can afford to be single for the rest of our lives because we can have our own money and make our own money and grow our own money. Men need to offer much more than their money, and a lot of them don't even have that in the first place. So even the bare minimum, they don't even have the bare minimum to be considered a mate. And like I said, women have a much lesser problem of getting into relationships than men do. We truly are living in the best times to be a woman, and a lot of people are fear-mongering women now. This is my call to you, bestie, to only position yourself in places where your beauty, your character, your value is rewarded and not penalized. Stop hanging out with low vibration people in low vibration places. If you are a high value woman, those places are dangerous for you.
I mean, what exactly do you mean you grow your own money? Did money started grow on trees now? I either fail to see your point or you are all over the place. You can afford to be single, but yet you're not. 63% of women are not single. Men are falling behind and they're not attractive anymore, and yet 63% of you are not single. With so many men being single, maybe it's safe to say they are the one choosing to be single. And you're not as attractive as you think you are. Men don't even have the bare minimum, and yet women have a much lesser problem of getting into relationship. With whom? If men don't even have the bare minimum, who are you getting in relationships with? Some of you are dating each other or getting into relationships with each other, and apparently the majority of you are dating older men, and yet you're the same one bashing older men for dating younger women. Nah, either way I still fail to understand the point you're trying to make. But I've made this long enough, so I'm just gonna end it here. She is a high value woman selling courses to other women on how they also can become high value, teaching them probably how to grow their own money, and yet she's a stay-at-home girlfriend. Isn't that still a contradiction in terms?
Ignore the state of me, but step by step, I feel like I can do this. Number one, you're going to need a journal. In that journal, you're going to have to write down everything that makes your gut wrench when you think about them. All their cheating, their scandals, their lies, the screenshots, the proof. Keep it with you. Keep it on you. Now, you're not going to be ready to block them just yet, and probably no contact either. But what you're doing by keeping that journal is every time you think of them, every time you miss them, every time you feel a little bit sad, because sadness makes you forget what they've done so easily, you're going to turn that sadness into hatred.
Now that's always a good advice. Start hating people. Why bother blocking and going no contact when you can live in the past? Start making journals and find a way to hate them. What happens if they did nothing evil? Then you just get a journal, but you don't even need a pen because there's nothing to write in the journal. Or just hate them regardless, because that's always a healthy mindset.
I've cheated plenty of times in my life, by the way, but I'm a reformed cheater. I would never do it again.
So never again.
Never again. Sometimes if it's going to be a one-off thing and you sleep with someone one time and then you'll never cheat again and like you don't ever talk to that person again.
Says the reformed cheater.
It's not. It's a little bit different.
That's acceptable?
No, it's not acceptable, but like it's more understandable. I don't know. I kind of think everyone deserves a one-time cheat in their relationship or marriage.
So it's safe to say you're going to cheat again.
Not when I have a ring on it.
Says the reformed cheater, not when I have a ring on it. And yet, 2 seconds earlier, she did said everyone deserves a one-time cheat, even in relationships or marriage. All I can hope is no one will ever put a ring on it.
This is what I think.
Okay, 10 years in.
We're bored. Let's like either do a threesome or like let's have an open relationship or, you know.
Well, it's a conversation with you and your husband.
Yeah.
Maybe he's down for it, maybe he's not.
What
What if he's not?
Then we'll have to figure something out, but I won't cheat. I will not cheat.
Okay.
Maybe divorce.
I knew my ex was crazy when I found out she was making fake profiles of girls that I would be interested in.
Yes, that sounds very unfortunate, but like, how did you find out about this? Because something tells me you found out that she made these fake profiles because you got caught talking to these fake profiles. I could be wrong.
Nah, you wrong? Never. He did said his ex. Did you miss that word or you chose to miss it? If you did miss it, let me say it again. His ex. His ex was stalking his page, not letting him move on. Hope I made it clear enough for you.
Pitch this and tell me, what's the one thing you wish everyone around you knew about getting divorced?
Do it, because it's better on the other side. And I'm not promoting divorce. If you've tried everything and it's still not working, and the only reason you're not leaving is because you're too scared of what people will think and too scared of doing it on your own, do it. You won't regret it.
I am not promoting divorce, but do it, you won't regret it. What if she will? Not everyone can live a 304 life after they get divorced. Just because it's working out for you, maybe, it doesn't mean that life is for everyone. Grass is not always greener on the other side. And maybe you'll understand that once your looks fade away.
Well, all of my friends who prioritized having kids in their 20s are all now single moms at 40 and divorced. I got so many of these comments on my last video, so I'm going to touch on it now. Disregarding exceptional reasons such as real abuse, the fact is 80% of women are the ones ending marriages, 90% if they have a degree. I'm very tired of this victim mentality that has manifested within the female realm. It is hard for me to have empathy for single divorced moms when 90% of the time they are at fault for it. It is completely self-inflicted. I'm also coming from a place of self-critique because, believe it or not, just like every woman in America, I have succumbed to some of those thoughts. But we listen to social media and mass media and we tell ourselves that there's someone else there that's going to treat us even better, and we neglect the other party, which is our husbands, and then all the children that are involved as well. Oh, but let's not forget the vows you took. You cannot discredit my theory of prioritizing a family first and then working on a career, all because you have women that fall in that 90% category that left their husbands. Now just wait for this comment section to blow up on all the women that tell me they are the exception, that 90% are leaving because the men are so terrible.
Yeah, let's also not forget that all of their exes seem to be narcissists. What was it with the previous lady? I'm not promoting divorce, but do it. That type of message, sadly, is the one being promoted. Do it, you will not regret it.
Hi, it's your 27-year-old older sister. Just a quick question. Is he actually listening to you, or is he listening to just...
Why don't men believe in astrology?
Because it's too hard for them to remember. They don't remember anything, and they just pretend they think it's not cool because they can't remember because they're dumb.
Men don't really believe in a lot of things, and I think that it's just because they're like not really on our side in life. Even the good ones aren't great.
You know the reason why nobody wants to talk to you is because you're a Gemini.
I think they're scared.
Of what?
Of the truth.
They just don't have the capacity to contemplate the cosmos like that.
Men just this year found out they should be washing their assholes, so I don't really think that they can even begin to comprehend that, like, the sky means something.
I'm like a man in this way. I don't care. But you guys need to calm down because you're trying to get laid. So like horoscopes, you idiot.
I think they do, and I think they're lying. I think they're like, that sounds really girly and dumb, and then they go home and they're like, okay, but like, why am I emotional?
It's too complicated for them. If astrology was like IKEA building furniture, they'd be like, got it, I understand it. But it's too much like all over the place.
Yeah. Because they don't have that space in their head. You know, they got sports, or for some Dungeons and Dragons.
Men are not as evolved as we are. They don't have the same intuition from the moon. They are not as connected to the stars, and so they can't be expected to understand cosmic forces.
The stars know that men are toxic.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all valid points. I'm gonna add one more. I think astrology is really stupid. And if me evolving means I'm gonna get my intuition from the moon, I'm good. I will absolutely pass on that. Anyway, my moon rising is telling me to thank you all for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.